Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism, a channel that has the goal of helping you understand what seems relatively ununderstandable and to help you navigate your way out of these relationships and ideally avoid them in the first place. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, join a great community, and if you like what you hear, just toss me that thumbs up because it does matter to me. And it also gets the word on this to more people. Honestly, the more people that understand this, the better off all of us are. It's been a while since I've done a Proverbs video. I think I got kind of distracted, but let's talk about a proverb. And I don't even know if this is a proverb. I read it and I think it's a proverb, but then I saw it's from a children's song. But the proverb is, watch the donut and not the hole. I don't think this is that old a proverb because I don't think donuts have been around that long, but I haven't done a proverb, like I said, for a while. So here I am. I actually think I got so distracted by the wonders of the am I the asshole world that I got distracted from my whole proverb world. So, but as we know, proverbs are where truth and sometimes myths come together. And I have to tell you also, as a great appreciator of donuts, very clearly, that comes this line. Now this line is from a children's song. That's where I sourced it to. I don't obviously think that the children's song was about avoiding narcissists, but I think maybe telling the kids to look at what is good and not what is missing. So it's probably supposed to be a proverb on paying attention to what matters, which I guess is the donut and not the whole. I think all of us who are survivors of narcissistic relationships are at risk for being glass half empty people rather than glass half full. And if you are in a narcissistic relationship or at risk for entering narcissistic relationships, thinking that the glass is half full, sadly, is a little bit dangerous. But when it comes to narcissistic relationships, lots of folks got played because they actually did watch the donut and not the whole. They watched the vapid shenanigans, the love bombing, they fell for the manipulation, the lies, the false self that the narcissist was portraying, the sales pitch that is the narcissistic person's ground game. All of that donutty stuff that actually gets us in trouble. But I actually think that the real meaning of the proverb is that it is telling us to look at the good stuff, the donut, and not the empty part, the whole. And that's where it gets a little confusing when it comes to narcissistic relationships. When it comes to new relationships, we do too often look in the wrong place. We look at what may suit our narrative. We look at what may correct a childhood experience. We look at what the world tells us to look at. Yeah, sure, this person's a jerk, but they sure do have a nice car or a great job or nice abs. I mean, not exactly the stuff to plan a lifelong commitment around. This can also happen in new jobs. What a great company! We can ignore the fact that other people have had nervous breakdowns working for this job. It will be different for me. We see this in new relationships even when meeting new friends. When we try to put a positive spin on the narcissistic relationship, especially when it is new, we run the risk of really harming ourselves. Oh, yeah, I met this new person. Yeah, a little late, and they can be grumpy and inconsistent, but they're so attractive. They're really fun. This is really exciting. That is just as bad as missing the red flags, which is what happens when we watch the donut and focus what we believe is the good stuff, the yummy stuff. We are often socialized to do that. We're told, look at the bright side, focus on the good stuff, glass half full, the silver lining, all of that, right? So when the red flags are coming at us at a fever pitch, we're socialized and told, oh, don't look at that donut hole, look at that donut. We are actually indoctrinated out of prudence and good sense, being told to look at the damned donut. And I get it, donuts are hot, but being told to look at the donut when we should actually be looking at the hole. We live in a world where the well-intentioned tenets of positive psychology have been bastardized a bit into toxic positivity. And that is a bit of a problem because we are often shamed when we are not positive or when we view the world through a slightly sour lens. Think positive. Look for the good stuff. Look at the donut. Just ignore that silly hole. I hate that narcissistic relationships have turned the world into a place where we do actually have to look at the hole and not the donut, the opposite of what the children's song is telling us to do. that we need to be on alert for the antagonistic, manipulative stuff that people do and not just get to breathe. However, I do believe that if all of us can get really good at looking at the whole of the donut, and at least initially, and not get lost in the donut of it all, then we can slowly transition into relationship spaces that can grow into something healthier. We just have to go against conventional wisdom, maybe not fully focus on the whole, but balance the donut whole looking, right? And perhaps what all of us need to or hope for are filled donuts, the ones with cream or custard or jelly inside, and then it's all yum and no hole. And as a vanilla cream donut girl from way back, no hole, all filled in sugary sweet goodness, I can now see that my donut choices may have been more wise than my people choices. And unlike narcissists, we can actually make donuts work in our lives in moderation. So I think that where we really end up with this proverb is it's not just about looking at the donut, and it's not about looking at the whole, but it's at looking at the two simultaneously. And ideally, try to find those super healthy folks where it's just a big old filled donut and you're not having to constantly dodge the red holes or the red flags of the whole. Thanks again.